can this colorful, strange, rubbery, plasticky feeling gel pen actually be worth the two hearts in its logo? Stay tuned to find out.
Welcome to Stationery Test Drive, where we put our hearts into everything and sometimes double the hearts, as is the case with this week's test drive tool. I'm Vishal.
This is Minjal.
I'm Samir.
And yes, as we've talked about and belabored the point doubly so in the intro and now, the Papermate Inkjoy Gel 0.5 has two hearts in the Papermate logo. It's plasticky and rubbery and inky and jelly, but not quite a jelly roll. And it's a gel pen that is a joy to use. Isn't that so Minjal?
Completely.
So Papermate, those two hearts, that's a part of their logo in all their things, isn't it?
Yes, the Papermate company is much older than the name Papermate. I think in the 1940s they started as the Frawley Pen Company.
Frawley.
I assume the person who started it was called Frawley.
Or they just like to frolic and then...
And they were one of the pioneers of the ballpoint pen. So, I mean, I'm guessing there's this, very dramatic novel movie that could be written and made on the heyday of the ballpoint pen. We have already spoken about some of the adventures of Milton Reynolds from the Reynolds Company and
Le Bic, which was...
the Bic and the Biro. And so Papermate was also one of those initial pioneers in making the ballpoint pen the ubiquitous thing that it is.
By Mr. Frawley, not Messrs. Paper and Mate.
Exactly. I think they took on the name Papermate much later on. A few decades later, if I'm not mistaken. But the point is that in the 1950s, they were one of the first people to have these kind of mass market ballpoint pens. And it was a big enough industry and a new enough thing at the time that they had gigantic marketing budgets. We have spoken about this with the Bics as well, that it was also similar there, where they spent a lot on marketing. The Papermate pens had a marketing budget of $2 million in the 1950s.
Wow, and then $2 million in the 1950s was not $2 million today.
They had major Hollywood stars in their ads.
And just like Bic, there is a connection to shaving goods, isn't there? With Gillette.
Yes, because the Papermate company, of course, lasted for a very long time and continues, but its original owners eventually sold it off to Gillette. And from Gillette, who actually owned a fair number of stationery brands at one point, it went into the hands of the Newell Brands company, which also owns Reynolds and several other brands we have covered.
So the interesting thing about this, and we are in India right now, this pen is manufactured in India, but you don't get it in India, at least at retail. Not easily.
So we believe that some part of the range, of the Papermate stationery objects are manufactured in India. The Inkjoy variant, I've checked on Amazon, a set is actually available for 2,500 rupees.
Which is what? $30? That seems like a lot for...
It is. And this is actually very, very cheap in the US. If you look at Amazon.com, for instance,
right.
These would easily be available for, under $20 or even $15.
Right. So, like a lot of brands that we have covered that are owned by Newell Brands, they kind of outsource their production to India, and they have been doing that for decades. I think when we covered the Luxor highlighters, when we were reading up on those, we came across the fact that Luxor used to, or maybe they still do, manufacture things under the Papermate brand. So it's possible that these are manufactured under the same facilities, but are not actually available in India.
Well, all I want to say to the Papermate company and whoever is making them, please bring these out in India, because they are literally, they live up to their name. They are a joy to use. And what we do on this show is find things that spark joy. We are artists and calligraphers and designers, and we do test drives. And Minjal has done a test drive of this one, which is going in circles, and maybe I'll have to do some fancy rotation tricks to get people to read this. But is there something to read here, or is this a codex?
Can we also have the little Mickey Mouse sign going over?
Oh, yes.
So these are actually the lyrics of a Leonard Cohen.
See, there you go. The Mickey Mouse sign would be appropriate.
Yes. While this may look like, it's very simply done, this is probably the 10th attempt at actually trying to fit the lyrics in, the circles, the concentric circles. And unfortunately, I was stuck with the dome's compass.
Oh,
so,
yes. Please see our episode on
for Minjal's rant on the dome's compass.
Yeah. Yes.
Please see our episode on the geometry boxes and sets that we did several months ago.
But the compass aside, these pens are really, really so good to use with. A couple of observations I had was that firstly, they're really fast drying. They don't smudge.
No smudging, no balling, none of the stuff that you associate with cheaper ball pens and even gel pens.
Yes, and the colors are really nice. I'm a fan of greens and blues. Most of the pieces I've done so far on the show have been green and blue. And they're such great colors. These are good to write with. They're good to kind of doodle with, like Vishal said, it would be nice if they're not so expensive.
Yeah, but I think they earn their expense and we'll get to that when we get to our pieces. They're just very satisfactory. And I don't mean that in satisfactory as like being middle of the road. They're,
satisfying.
They're you don't have any complaints about them. They're handsome pens. They don't have any fancy grip or anything, but the grip is really nice. It's sort of this rubberized coating that runs along the entire body. And there's two hearts at the top. So, that always reminds you of at least something. Samir, why don't you show us your test drive? Because Samir and I did it with these. Minjal chose blue and green as her favorite. And Samir, you and I chose these other ones.
Yes. As Vishal and Minjal have said, I enjoyed these thoroughly. I thought it was important after I started scribbling with these to test out not just drawing with them, which is my natural thing to do, but also to write with them. And these are really good at both. I think they're a bit unusual as far as an artist pen is concerned. They don't quite work like the ideal artist pen. We've tested out the Rorito Fasti before, which I think we really, really loved as artists.
Yeah, that had a very pleasing line when I was doing hatching, which is sort of like that.
Yeah, like that. The thing about these is that they are as pleasing or even more pleasing when you're actually writing with them. And that's just it's just a very, as Vishal said, satisfying, kind of calm and satisfying feeling of writing with these pens.
As an all-round pen, this is a gel pen that I would heartily recommend, even as an artist pen.
And the other thing that I found is that this sort of hatching that I have done across these ribbon shapes, I should have probably recorded a live video of how quickly I did them. These were quick.
Yeah.
I did not spend any time doing this. It was just the first try. It just came out this way.
Yeah, and that's usually something we associate with fine liners, where the precision of the line and the ability to put it down where you want it to go down. And yes, I found that as well. I really enjoyed we've talked about this ad infinitum, especially in these last few episodes, about the vibrancy of the colors. Like, these are great. The blues are great, the greens are great, but these two together, you would not think that a purple and a hot pink, fuchsia, whatever it is. I'm not good with color names. I just use them professionally. Tell us about this quotation. Is this something you just came up with?
I just came up with.
Float like no one is tying. And the rest...
Bricks to their toes.
Very artistic and poetic, and I think it can stand toe to toe with Mr. Cohen.
I think once Minjal said that she was going to start writing Leonard Cohen lyrics, I said, I can say whatever I want now.
See, while you guys went for the profound, things like lyrics and things like that, I just went for the cheap thrills of nudity. And here is mine.
That is
like some Roman sculpture.
Yeah, funny you should say sculpture, because applying the hatching here, and it is technically the same thing, hatching, with the same pens, I must say, is a great joy. Inky gel, Papermate Joy, whatever it is called. Yeah, this is a joy to put down, to just like sculpt out each plane. I think even just for that, having a cheapish pen, let's say, compared to a technical pen or whatever, you get a great amount of control over it. You can layer it. You can still just put down one section and it's fine. You can mix colors and that's fine. You can go back in and like finesse it with lighting and shadow and things like that. Or you could just go in and do pattern freehand, and all of that works. And that is not actually as common a thing as you would think. You'll find pens that are more precise. You'll find pens that are more vibrant. You will find pens that are easier to put consistent lines down. Finding all of those in this sort of Goldilocks zone is the wonderful. And let me just say that I didn't really have any expectations of this pen.
Yeah, we'd never heard of one.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen,
came across it.
Let's just say that Papermate, I've seen it in stores abroad or even in stores here in India. It's always felt like a very middle of the road kind of consumer general use. You have the cute stationery, the cute like binder books or the sketchbooks or notepads. They've never seemed like serious things. Like, let's say your Cansons, your Winsor Newtons, your all these other ones, they feel like serious art things. And this one is colorful and bubbly and friendly and has 2 hearts on it. Yeah. And you think that can't possibly be used for something like this. But I think just look at the range that we have here. And it's not just because we are awesome people, which is true, but also sometimes the tool does come up to meet you and it does surprise you. I was very surprised with the quality that I got out of this. I was very surprised with both of these actually as well, in terms of just how light that is. You won't think that, this is a very heavy kind of drawing. It took 3 hours to ink. That took you maybe half an hour.
Yeah.
This would have taken me longer with a different...
Yeah, but the point is that I could do this in half an hour. You could do this. You use the same pen to do something that took 3 hours.
Yes.
And Minjal could do something like this, which took her 10 tries. You can use it in a variety of different styles.
And I must say, these were not quite full when we got them. They've barely used any of the inks. Usually in cheaper gel pens, I'm used to like going through half a barrel of ink on a drawing like this. So it's quite, not only is it dry, it's quite economical.
So I actually came across these pens first on the Jet Pens YouTube channel. Stationery enthusiasts across the world will obviously know Jet Pens. We love their channel so much.
Huge fans.
We're huge fans. And speaking of fans, Vishal, I'm going to say this. This is my opinion. I am not only your biggest fan, but I think you're one of the best artists in India, I'm going to say. Yes, you can laugh about it.
I mean, you're only setting my bar high with like a billion people.
He already said he's awesome.
Yes, but no, this has to be said again and again, because not enough people really, get to see the kind of work he does. And I think many more people should really be seeing his work.
Thank you so much. And I think that if we have tools like this and a forum like this, like Stationery Test Drive, which we have been doing for almost a year, by the way. This is our 49th episode. And, we will be back, I guess, for episode 50. We aren't actually doing anything, commemorative, because we are actually looking at episode 52 and finishing off a year and of weekly episodes. And let me just say this now, we're going to take a bit of a break from Test Drive for a few months, maybe a few weeks even. And we have other things planned. But all of those things will involve art and stationery like this. I don't think we're tired of making fun things with normal tools like this with little hearts on them. We heart them, we double heart them. We hope you will heart us or thumbs up or whatever else you want to do on this video, but also to follow us at the links on the screen right now, social links, and find pictures of this art. And please, yes, share all of these. We don't, we'd like people to just like see these and see the things you can do with these tools. That is the major reason we started this program. And you can go to inkymemo.com. For sometimes you can, if you want to read through these, you can find transcripts of a lot of these episodes, including maybe musings about the actual lyrics and their deeper passionate meaning, which Minjal will put in because she handles that.
No pressure.
No pressure. But yeah, find us, follow us. We will continue to do this and stick to this channel because there are other experiments coming. Samir talked about taking video of the hatching. I think if you're interested in seeing things like that, you will be rewarded with something like that in maybe in the next year, but
in coming
months. We hope to see you next time. Until then, I'm Vishal.
This is Minjal.
I'm Samir. And if you would like to see more of us being awesome, which we are, have a look at the Rorito Fasti gel pen video, which is one of our favorite gel pens. And also check out the big colored pens, ball pens, which we also tried and were some of our favorites.
Those were awesome.
Vishal?
And these are awesome too. Double heart.